Listen up, it's the Madison podcast. I'm your host, New York's favorite British mortgage broker, Ben Lavender, the scavenger. I won't keep going because you cannot handle my rhythmic skills. Today we have a special guest whose name I've been pronouncing incorrectly for the past 3 years. Valine Richardson, as I've been calling you Valine, and you've been so sweet and polite you haven't corrected me. So Valine Richardson with Keller Williams in the house. We've known each other quite a while. She is an exceptional human being and excellent realtor as well. Valine, please introduce yourself and just say what's up, I guess.
Hi, beautiful people. So my name is Valine Richardson. I let Ben slide because I love the way he says my name, so that is perfectly fine. So I am with Keller Williams. I'm located in the Bronx, and I cover the 5 boroughs in Westchester County. And thank you so much for having me today.
Of course, the entire world will be watching on the edge of their seats for our real estate mortgage podcast. Okay, so what I like to do for the intros is kind of let everyone know, how did you get into the business? Because, you know, getting into real estate isn't something that we really grow up wanting to do unless like our family's in the business. So what did you want to do growing up, and how did you get into real estate?
I wanted to be a physician assistant. And and it's like so far off from real estate. But I watch Korean dramas, and I saw one episode of a woman as a broker in real estate. And and it sparked my interest. And
that is so random.
It's super random, and it's always the random things that just find your love. So after watching that, I looked into, like, you know, what are the requirements? What do real estate agents do? And that's how I got into real estate. I took the course, and from there, it was just like, it was love at first sight.
That's amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
And how long ago was that?
Well, I got my license in 2019,
okay.
But it was like maybe 3 years or so before that, that I was actually thinking about real estate.
And what were you doing at the time?
I was in school at John Jay, and I was also, I was working as a manager at Old Navy.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. So
yeah.
Hustler, busy, disciplined, hardworking, ambitious, goals, etc. So,
yes.
Which is, part of the recipe of what you need to succeed in this business. And Valine, tell us, like, what has it been like over the past, 3-4 years of your career? And like, we want the real answer, not the, it's been positive and so easy from the beginning. My mentor taught me everything, and just everything was sunshine and rainbows. Like, even with a mentor and all this stuff, it's still difficult, right? It's still difficult business.
It's a roller coaster, like mentally, emotionally. A lot of people, they just think about getting into real estate and you're gonna make a buttload of money the first year, and that is not what happens whatsoever.
It can, if you get lucky or
sure,
you're fortunate, whatever, but it's extremely rare.
Extremely rare. It was definitely a challenge because when I got my license in 2019, COVID was 2020.
Good times.
Yeah, it was such a learning curve for me. Just with dealing with real estate, transitioning to electronic, and then getting back to like in person with people. So it was definitely a learning curve. It was an emotional roller coaster because one minute you have a deal, next minute you don't. Managing,
and you don't know why, and you're not able to predict as to why, because you're not used to getting an accepted offer and like having it pulled away in 2 seconds. You went through all that.
Yeah, it was a lot, because I tell people, like, just because you have an accepted offer doesn't mean it's guaranteed that you're gonna get this home or guarantee the property is gonna sell. Anything can happen. I'm at a stage now where, like, I tell people first meeting them, you need to be prepared mentally, because this can be a lot. And like, anything can happen in a deal. Even in contract, the buyer may not get a commitment, and then unfortunately the deal doesn't go through.
Or not if you send them to me, but yeah.
Yeah, not if you work with Ben.
But that does happen. I'm sorry, I had to. Continue, please.
No, but yeah, so it's been a lot, but it's been amazing. Like, I love the ups and downs. I love the challenge. So I've enjoyed the ride.
Okay, let's go. That was positive and true, so you didn't falsify, which I liked. But let's hear, what do you dislike about the business the most? Or we can swap the word dislike with what is a consistent challenge in the business. It may not pertain to you. It could just be like the nature of the business. So like to give you insight, like for me, it's like inefficient communication.
Yeah.
You know, it's my number one thing, whether it's an agent, attorney, or even like clients. Actually, clients. That happens. I wouldn't say a lot, but it's one of the more frustrating things, at least for me. But yeah.
Yeah. We can keep the word dislike. For me, I had to learn different agents have different personalities as well with clients.
Yeah.
And we're learning to work with each other. And at most times, you may not like everyone you work with. They may not communicate the way you communicate. They may not work the way you work. Some people are like really laid back and chill, and I'm more so of like, all right, we got to get this done, A, B, C, and D. And that has been one of the most challenges I face with cooperating and like putting that into my business of dealing with other people in that aspect.
Yeah, and let's be real, right? Like not a lot, but there's a population of agents that are unprofessional, rude.
For sure.
That just have poor communication skills. And I mean, look, we know why, right? The agents that are getting 6% on their listing but are paying 0.5% out to the buyer agent, they're not communicating for a reason. They're trying to make it as difficult as possible to double dip. But you also get some who are just egotistical, you know. First thing, you know, it's the classic. We always talk about it. I've been doing this for 20 years.
30 years.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, that's fantastic. Why do you not know how to do this then? It's usually my follow-up, but, you know, it's we get a lot of that. It's a very egotistical business. I mean, look, I'm one of them, right? But like my ego, I'd like to think is different.
You have a good ego.
Yeah, I think you need some.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
There was this movie. What was it? I haven't seen it, but I saw the clip probably on Instagram or something where Bradley Cooper is a chef, and he's interviewing this guy that wants to join him, and he keeps saying to the guy is like, okay, Bradley, so what do I have to do to join you? And Bradley's like, would you work for me for free? And the guy's like, yeah. And then he goes, would you pay me to work for me? Right? Isn't that crazy? So he doesn't answer the question, but like the point is, and Bradley Cooper's character sums it up, and is like, you need some MF in you, right? You need a little bit of, you need some arrogance. You need, but it's got to be like a healthy amount of arrogance, because, you know, too much, like you have to balance between like being super confident and getting stuff done, but also like to keeping an open mind so you could improve and grow. And, you know, it's something for me that I'm constantly trying to like figure out, because it's not easy to manage. But we get these characters in the business. They certainly make our days more interesting.
Yeah.
Got tons of, I'm sure you've got tons of stories. I mean, just the amount of people that we run across are crazy. And then also you have clients. I mean, clients and realtors, I guess, and I mean loan officers as well, that straight up lie.
No,
right?
Yeah.
Like I had it this morning where I was referred a client by an agent, and the client was trying to buy a 4-family property, I think in the Bronx actually. And I don't know if you're aware of this, Valine, but there's something called, for FHA loans on multifamilies, or 3 and 4 specifically, called the self-sufficiency test.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
Oh,
we basically told the client, like, you qualify, right? You yourself qualify, but unfortunately the house will fail the self-sufficiency test. And so the client's like, can we get a second opinion? You know, to the realtor, they don't tell me. The realtor told me, because they weren't like trying to be shady. They were just like, the client wanted a second opinion, and the other loan officer told them yes. And then the realtor comes to me and tells me, and I'm like, okay, so you're welcome to go into contract and get declined, because the self-sufficiency rule is not a like mortgage company specific rule. That is a hard FHA guideline.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's interesting, because that loan officer doesn't know what they're doing, but they're the second opinion. Oh shoot, by the way, Tyler, I don't know if you're listening, but I wanted to shoot a video on that. So let's do that tomorrow. Oh, I do this like all the time. It doesn't matter. But whenever. Where are you going to be?
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Busy Tyler.
Yeah.
Wait, it's not Addie's wedding. Okay. All right. Anyway. So I don't know if you know Addie. He's on my team.
Yeah.
He's getting married, actually.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. So today is like his first party. Then it's Friday and Saturday, and it's a whole weekend, and then I have to go to England for a wedding on Sunday. So this is funny.
Oh, you're busy.
I have a wedding in England at 3 p.m. on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
The flight's 7 hours, and the time forward is 5 hours. So I have to somehow I haven't booked the flight. I have to find the flight that will get me there around like midday or 1 o'clock, so I can then drive or take a train to the wedding. I have no idea how I'm going to do this.
You're stressing me out.
Oh yeah, I'm stressed out. I mean, it's a good
It's
time.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I know. That's what I do. So yeah. Anyway, back to the podcast.
Okay. Yes. Back to.
Okay. So give us one of your good like heartfelt stories, right? Like a time a client like didn't think they would qualify or buy a home or something, or like you came in and I don't know if you could say saved the day, because we talk about quite a bit of negative. Let's hear some positive stuff.
I want to say she was a friend from middle school, and I made a post on Facebook, and she reached out to me, and her mom has been working all her life, and she was like, she really wants to get her mom a home or something. And it was at that time her mom went to a lender said they wouldn't qualify, went to another lender and they said yes. And it has been a journey, and it's a first time home buyer, so emotions are like super high, offers are getting outbidded, and it's just a lot because we went from like condos to single families to multifamilies, of families living everyone living together, and then back to condos, because now it's just the thought of, this is for you. You worked hard your whole life. You need something like just to relax for yourself.
Yeah.
And it took us a year. And also, side note, this is not no 1, 2, 3. Like, I wish it was 1, 2, 3, but it's not 1, 2, 3. Because you don't want to just say yes to anything. So it took us literally a year. They took a break. Yeah, they took a break. How many showings? Before. It was quite a few showings. But I enjoy it. Like touring, but like to see the homes. Fun, yeah, like it's so cute. Like it's memories for them. So we saw quite a few homes from the different single, multifamily condos, the areas that it's just been like, you step out the car and we're like, I don't think this is for you. Or we step in the house. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, this is not for me. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to have that feeling when they step in of like, this is mine. Like I want this home. We took a break like right before the holidays and then picked back up the next year, like maybe the end of January. Oh. And we were back to like our original thought of condos. And this family, it was just so special because the mom, like mentally, it was a lot for her. And I felt like she deserved so much. She'd been through so much. She's always helping everyone, even till this day. Like I love her. So shout out to Mr. Loris. But we finally did find a condo, and even within that process, it was another obstacle of like getting the right offer in, and then we had to do the spot approval for FHA because certain condos. Yeah, so it was a learning, like for me as well as their agent. I learned so much throughout that whole process. So even with waiting for the spot approval and then finally getting through that and getting accepted, it was getting her to that closing table felt amazing. Like through all the ups and downs, when my buyer or my seller, they're able to like move on and move into a new journey for themselves, it's peaceful to me.
That's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, from start to finish. Yeah. It's fulfilling, right? It's like we get that, I wouldn't say a rush, but like a real feeling of satisfaction when we actually have the power to help people. Or I should say you do. I just sit at a desk all day.
You help people too.
I do, but it's not
You're
like...
part of it.
Yeah, it's not nearly as fun. Like I'm just like typing like my calculations. Meanwhile, it's like, okay, this is a beautiful home and this, and you create memories here. And it's like, I mean, you can't really create memories from your tax returns, but I mean, I'll try. So it's fun. We try and make it fun, and I like to say that we take as much stress out the process as humanly possible. Yes. But with that said, it's still like it's stressful. It's still an anxious process, and I think part of it is like because typically the way we work, like before Addie like talks to the clients and takes over, I typically have like a 5 to 20 minute discussion with the clients and give them a breakdown. And something I always say is like, and this is specific to New York real estate buying. Out of state, it's much smoother. this business, there are going to be times where it's going to be frustrating because at the end of the day, think about how many people are involved. So it's me as a team leader, loan officer. You also, let's say you work with Addy, you work with a processor here. So that's 3 people from the mortgage company on an average that you'll talk to. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's more, right? Then on top of it, you're dealing with your agent. You're dealing with a home inspector, an appraiser. You're dealing with the seller's attorney, your attorney. You're dealing with the seller as well, right? And if I said seller's agent, but let's pretend I didn't. And then on top of that, title, right? And a bunch of others, bank attorney, whatever. So, and then in the back, plus appraisal and home insurance. I missed those, but okay. But in the back, overall, there's about, 20 to 50 people working on your file. 20 people that you're going to be dealing with directly. And, another 50 that's working on it in the back end. So I basically break that down for them. I'm like, look, I can do the best job in the world, as can your realtor. But the thing is, if one of these people doesn't do their job well, it's like a domino effect. And then the rest of the process, even though it has nothing to do with us, it's going to make us look bad. So what I'm saying is, like, keep in mind that you got a lot of people working on your file. It's not simple. Or actually, to be fair, it is simple. It's just a lot going on.
Right.
So if something goes wrong, we just ask that, try and keep a cool head, communicate, because something will maybe not go wrong, but not go the way that you planned, and it might throw you off a little bit, right? So just keep in mind that that's perfectly normal. And our job at the end of the day is to try and take as much of that frustration and let you know what's going to transpire as possible. But that's really just the way it goes. And honestly, all the clients, because I don't have that conversation with everyone, I would say 75% of the clients that I get to actually speak to. And those clients, their expectations of what's going to transpire during the process, they're way calmer. They're way calmer. It's the clients that want perfectionism from every single person end up having the worst time because they stress themselves out. Right? Like, how are you going to control, like, if you're, let's say your inspector, or, if for some of you, your dad, who's an inspector, shows up half an hour late, and then you freak out, like, it's like these things happen.
Yeah, exactly.
People are people, so that's what we try and do. And I think, Valine, like you in particular, your demeanor helps, right? Being calm makes a huge difference. So, like, I know someone who is always anxious. I'm not going to say who they are or where they work because it can be tracked fairly easily. But every time I interact with this person, I immediately, like, have a panic attack.
Yeah, you get nervous.
They have, like, this energy where I'm immediately like, I just want to get off the phone with them, or I want to stay away from them because I'm like, they're like this all the time. It's like, that doesn't help. Doesn't help. You gotta, just chill.
I feel like also with realtors and clients, just with everyone, I feel like with realtors, we really have to set that pace and set that mode for everyone.
You're the boss. You're the leader.
Even if the ship is sinking, you would not know there's water in the boat. Because I feel like as a realtor, like, I have to have that level head. Of course, just having that conversation with the client, like, hey, things happen, but I need you to know, like, I'm always going to have the best foot forward, and always have a team with me to help you through this process. And because at times I'm level-headed and I'm calm, even when I'm given bad news, they know, like, Valine's gonna work it out. It's gonna be fine. Like, it's gonna work out. Like, when you're nervous and you're making your client nervous, now they're scared, especially if this is their first rodeo. Like, it doesn't help. Like, you have to, like, stay calm. And it also helps when you have a team, like, especially as a realtor, that know each other. So, like, I like to work with a lender or an attorney that I know that I can call 8 o'clock with the question, or a day before closing. We're just making sure everything is A, B, C, and D. Working with, like, different people, you don't know how they operate. They don't communicate. The deal is taking longer than usual. So it just becomes a whole mess. So everyone just has to be on one accord.
That is pretty much summed up perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, you should, like, print that out and give it to every realtor on the planet, because it's just, it makes life easier. It also, I think, like, increases longevity in the business, because the people who are like, and don't get me wrong, speed is important, right? You have to handle problems quickly, but doing them, as you just said, like, in a way that makes the client nervous doesn't help.
Right.
But the ability to stay level-headed and then have that energy pass off to your client is absolutely massive, right? So, okay, let's shift same subject. We're staying in real estate. I want to know, from a loan officer's perspective, what is your number one complaint for or of lenders?
Number one complaint?
I think I know what it is, but I want to hear from you.
Wait, number one complaint, giving false hope.
Ooh.
Yeah, please don't give false hope.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I don't like that. Because I'm going to be honest with you. So whether it's a seller, a client, another agent, a loan officer, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like if I sugarcoat it to you, it just is too much. Like, I'd rather, this is what it is. This is how it's going to be. And you can either take B or C. Don't give someone false hope.
I like saying someone qualifies and then
and they don't. Yeah, don't do that. It's okay. Like, we can figure something out later on. Or they don't communicate. Like, if I'm calling you or texting you, like, we're in a deal. Yeah, and you don't. I know you have your phone. Yeah. Why are you not responding to me? You can easily say, hey, I'm busy or I'm in a meeting. I'll take that.
You're such an unpleasant person, Valine. The people just don't want to speak to you. You just like, you have an annoying, terrible smile. It's not contagious whatsoever. Yeah, no, it's a good point. I mean, the number one complaint, like I said, is... which I thought you would say is loan officer communication. But the false hope thing is a big one. To me, that's like a question of ethics as opposed to just professionalism. Because you're telling someone they qualify, they spend money on an appraisal, a home inspection, they put money down. I mean, it's beyond. You know, there's a difference. I think I've even shot some videos about this. Like, as an LO, you have to, number one requirement is pre-approving your files correctly.
Right.
Which I know sounds simple, but like to this day, listing agents still call me and, you know, to verify pre-approvals, and they're like, have you verified documentation? And I'm like, of course. I mean, they're like, Ben, I'm sorry, but I have to ask because some lenders don't do that. And it's just, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So, you know, do the right thing. Also, I'll tell you a little, I wouldn't call it a secret actually, but it's just kind of funny. Part of the reason that we do it goes with obviously not just being professional and doing the right things by the client, but it's what gives... So actually, let me preface again. So you know that we close very quickly.
Yes.
Right? So part of the reason, thank you, part of the reason that we're able to do that is because we prep the files so efficiently and correctly up front. So any issue, like if there's a gray area, because what loan officers don't understand is like that gray area that you're kind of leaving to underwriting to figure out once you get there, those are the deals that stress you out and don't work out. So you have to kind of be like, I'm going to figure this out right now and just, you know, call your underwriter, call your manager. If you, and I've said this before in a video before, if you don't have a manager, get one, right? Because you need to be able to give people confidence that they can close quickly. Because from our perspective, Valine, let's say for me as a loan officer, in order for me to court you and get business from you, that process can take anywhere from a day to 6 months, right? Before you feel comfortable enough to send me business. But then if you give me a referral and I don't close that referral, what's going to happen? One, you'll never use me again, and you're going to tell every single realtor in your network never use Ben again, right? So, I mean, you're very sweet, so maybe you won't do that, but some would.
Right, they definitely would.
Yeah.
They definitely would. But then I feel like this also goes back to knowing who you work with. So like if I'm a listing agent and I get offers and I see the offer is from you, from Madison Mortgage, I'm like, okay, I know Ben vets his buyers and he does not play. That is like a relief. That's a relief for me. I can feel confident with speaking to my seller about the buyer, or even just on the buyer side, being confident to speaking to a seller's agent because I know how thorough you are with your buyers, and it's greatly appreciated.
Of course. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But that's the way to be, even as a loan officer. You know, it makes your life easier. No one likes jumping into the pipeline and like trying to solve this issue. It's stressful. You know, it's like when I was less experienced and I made some mistakes, I wouldn't sleep for a week. You know, it was stressful. It was not a good time. And I guess now, because I have some form of PTSD, I don't want that happening ever again. So it's not just for your sake and the client's sake, it's for my own sanity as well, because that is not a good time. Okay, so let's shift away, ask you a question that I ask many people.
Okay.
Because it gives me a good amount of insight to your personality. Is you can pick, actually.
Okay.
Favorite movie or favorite book?
Favorite movie. Oh my gosh, what's my favorite movie?
What comes to mind? It can be a crappy one.
It's been so long though, because I'm like, I get so distracted if I'm watching like TV shows and movies. So.
Oh, shows work too. If you have a favorite show.
Okay, I do have a favorite show.
I have a feeling it's gonna be corny. Reality? It's gonna be reality TV.
No. I only watch those clips on like TikTok. A favorite TV show. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait. All right.
Just so you know, before you answer this, whatever you answer, it's not life or death.
All right, I know, but I saw this show the other night, and it had like a flashback moment, and I had like called my daughter into the living room, and I'm like, Paige, mommy used to watch this show when I was a kid, like with my brothers, and she gave me the only look of like, why are you watching it now though? And I'm like, because I want to feel like a kid again. So my favorite show is Rugrats.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
so that was like my go-to show as a kid, and I saw it again the other day, and I was like in love again.
That's actually cool, and it's like in a way you use it as therapy.
Yeah,
like it like brings you back to
a moment of peace. Yeah,
that's.
I had no stress at that time.
That's so. Cute. Rugrats. I used to watch Rugrats too.
Yeah, so that's my favorite show.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, are you watching it like every night now?
No. That was just a moment.
Bedtime ritual.
That was a moment, like, you had like a long day. You just need to unwind. That show was like me unwinding.
Gotcha.
And just unpacking.
It's a great one. I'm trying to think, what's my favorite cartoon growing up that is chill? I don't know. Like as a kid, I watched Dragon Ball Z, but like.
Oh, same. Yeah, there's a good one.
Yeah, it was great. And now, actually, what's really funny is I see all these clips on like my Instagram for Dragon Ball Z. So like most guys, I think like their feed is, half naked girls and like whatever. Mine is a combination of Dragon Ball Z, Formula One, and snow leopards.
What? You do have like this obsession with snow leopards.
I do.
Oh my goodness.
I'm glad you know. Snow leopards are amazing.
Where did that come from?
Have you ever seen the movie The Secret Life of Walter Mitty?
No.
Okay, so it's basically Ben Stiller. It wasn't a huge movie, but it's a great movie. Ben Stiller works for this magazine, and he has to like find this videographer. I'm thinking of Tyler. He has to find this photographer who like shoots nature and wild animals. Anyway, he finds this photographer, and he's like in the Himalayas or something, and he gets a picture of a snow leopard, whatever. So it started like the thought, and then 3-4 years later, I started seeing like really cool videos of snow leopards on my Instagram, and then I just started sharing them because I just thought they're so cool, because they have like this, the combination of like ferocious killers, but they're also really cute, and like I don't want to hug one. So I just I started putting them on my story, and then keep in mind, no one asked me to do this. I just started sending them to people. It was like, they're really cute. You should see how cute they are as well. And then it became this thing, and like, I have 2 snow leopards in my office. I have 2 people that have adopted snow leopards on my behalf and like donated to the WWF. I have 3 snow leopard like stuffed animals. And it's gone to the place now where they're not stuffed animals. They're like, I refer to them as my children.
Yep.
And they have names, and I play with them. Like, look, when I get home from work, my first son, his name is Billy. Billy sits on, I don't know what to call it, my shelf. Of course, it's called a shelf. What's wrong with me? On the shelf below my TV. And like, I get home and I live alone, and I like have a full out conversation with Billy. I'm like, Billy, how was your day? It's like, meow, meow. Right. So it's like, we just go back, I talk for it, and we just go back and forth for like 5 minutes.
That's your unwind time.
Yeah. I mean, do I do it every day? No, but I'd like to do it more often and give some time to my son, Billy. He's very good and very well behaved. So that's where the snow leopard thing started, and I suggest you get in on the snow leopard life. It's very relaxing. Oh, I also looked into buying one.
A snow leopard.
Yeah, so it is illegal, but you can get one for $7,000. And I would just keep it in my apartment and let it be, even though it's illegal.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is why you have to work with people that you can click with. Because Ben is just a click for me. Like, I enjoy it so much. You don't want to work with anybody that you're like dragging on the phone, or you don't want to talk to them.
Hello, Valine.
Yeah, no, get off my phone.
Should I get you the
Ben is Ben. Yeah, I think,
to be, yourself. You okay, so in this business you should be yourself, unless you are a miserable, horrible human being. Then you need to work on yourself to become an expert and a more pleasant person to be around. So let's talk about that. This is something that Barry Habib talks about. Barry Habib is the owner of a software that a lot of loan officers subscribe to called MBS Highway. It just helps us keep track of rates, and he gives us updates, blah, 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 blah. Barry calls it magnetism, right? So if you're the type of person that when people meet, they walk away feeling better about themselves or about life in general, like in comparison to when they saw you, that's a way of not only getting business, but just enjoying life, right? I genuinely believe, this isn't like some kumbaya hippie stuff, I genuinely believe that you enjoy life more from giving more than receiving.
Yes.
Right? It's more fulfilling to make people happier, to do things for people, to be a person of use, right? As a lot of people say, you want to be a productive member of society, you want to contribute, and if you can make people feel good by the time they leave you, or great even, that will come back to you in ways you may not see it immediately, but you'll see it. You will see it tenfold. It comes back.
Yes, I completely agree with that, especially in the business, because sometimes a lot of people, yes, there's money that can be made, and a lot of money at that. So sometimes it distracts others of actually genuinely helping people and being that resource for people. Like even for me, even getting someone an apartment, a new place to rest their head, it's so fulfilling. That smile of like lighting people up as you meet them, because you never know anyone's story or like what they go through. So for me, I always like to have like that positivity, or like having someone smile just to make their day.
You do exceptionally well. It's probably honestly, it's my favorite thing about you, right? And you just gave me, and we were talking about this, when you have a thought, say it, right? So, which doesn't go well if you have ADHD or Tourette's or something. Anyway, what was I thinking? Okay, so I just lost it.
This is why I love that.
It was a good one though.
Okay, it was about was it contagious? With like, it was talking about me, positivity.
I don't know, Tyler. This is your fault. You've ruined everything. No, it'll come back. It'll probably come back as we talk about the next topic. The next topic is back to personal. Okay. What do you like to do? I wouldn't say what are your hobbies, because I don't find that most people in our business have hobbies. I mean, some do, but most don't. What do you do with your free time? I imagine you spend a lot of time with your daughter and...
Free time, yes. Free time, I'm like with family. I enjoy family. So mostly like my brothers or my mom. They're like my reset for me. So and
they take you out.
Exactly. And sometimes I had to learn, my brothers would take me out, like, put your phone down, you're with us. And I enjoyed that. So my free time is
brothers older, younger?
I have 3 older brothers and 1 younger brother.
That's awesome.
I know, right? Yeah.
Very nice.
No sisters. Yeah. I got
protection galore. I'm sure any guy that came around was just immensely intimidated.
I would never forget in high school. I went to high school with my brothers too, so it wasn't. Oh God. Yeah, it was. A guy did not want to talk to me until like maybe junior year. Like it was.
Just terrified.
Yeah, just terrified. But as an adult now and a mommy of 2, I appreciate them. So.
Yeah. Of course.
So it was worth it. So family time is definitely like my thing to do. What I started actually doing is picking a hobby, because I do think we need something to like to bring down our stress, because as realtors there's a lot that goes on, and there's some realtors that have like habits. So I feel like picking a hobby for me is like, I want to incorporate that. I actually want to go back to playing tennis as a hobby. Oh. So, yeah.
My opinion is to get a hobby that somehow complements the business. So I'm actually a bad example of this. But like 5 months ago, I took up rock climbing. It all started like my sister and I took my eldest niece rock climbing for her birthday, and then
nice.
Yeah, and it was easy. It wasn't like anything crazy, but from there on, I was just like, I got into it. Now I go like once or twice a week, but yeah, it's difficult too. it's like a puzzle. It's like a physical puzzle. So in the beginning, it's like, you know, your hands and your forearms and your back have to get like strong enough to do it. And then once you reach that level, you have to actually like think and, you know, like I said, it's puzzle.
Critical thinking, yeah.
But what I notice a lot of like top producing realtors and even loan officers do is that they have their hobbies that are intertwined with the business. So anything involving large groups, they'll do because it's a way to cast the network, their network, right? And they don't really bring up the business often. They do when it makes sense, so people know what they do, but they're not in there with the agenda of selling, right? You got to like keep it in the back because everyone knows that like you're just here because you want to, you know, use this for business. But that's like another thing. I was talking about it on a call actually an hour ago. Is this is good advice. And Tyler, clip this because it's a good one. You should, if you're an agent, right, or even a loan officer, you should join the local group of your town. So I'm talking about Facebook, right?
Yeah.
So you should join like the local moms group, and you should engage in that group every day. Should you start selling and telling everyone that you're a realtor? No, not immediately, but eventually. And then what happens is, because I know people, it's not even just mortgages, right? It's you know, other businesses, especially like cosmetics and stuff like that. There are these groups that all the moms are in, and then someone posts, hey, I need a hairdresser. Hey, I'm selling my house. I need a realtor. And then because you're friends with all the other people in the group, they like, you don't even sell yourself. The other people in the group will be like, boom, 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 boom. So this actually is what happens to a cousin of mine who's a realtor where I grew up. And everyone knows that she is the realtor of that town. And she doesn't say anything. All her friends tag her to death. But it's not just her friends, it's also the people in the group that she interacted with. So that's a big one. It's not something I do myself, not because I'm not a mother, but it's just because there are, for guys that are fathers, you know, you could join a local fathers group, or you could do whatever, something local that you have with your community. So that's, I guess, a little value add for you, Valine, if that's not something, I don't know, I apologize if you do it already, but if you don't, you should do it.
No, completely agree. And it's also like creating and building that relationship like with the community. I feel like when you establish a relationship with a person, that trust is like tenfold and it's so solid, opposed to just meeting someone or seeing a post and be like, hey, I'm a realtor. Like having someone else vouch for you that you have a relationship with, that foundation is extremely solid. So,
and it makes your life easier from a sales perspective, because instead of you having to convince someone to work with you, they're like saying, hey, I heard you're fantastic, let me work with you. But obviously in order to get there, you need to be fantastic, right? Which you are.
Thank you.
And that's really how it goes. So it's a great tactic. People don't use it enough, honestly. I have to find a way to like work it into my routine. Because I used to have, honestly, Valine, I had a schedule on my board of like things that I have to do, whether it's a post or a video, or replying to a story, or replying to another person's post, and then, you know, wishing all my, you know, people on my Facebook happy birthday. Unless I don't like you, then I don't wish you happy birthday. I don't wish you a bad birthday. I just don't wish you anything.
You don't wish them anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Imagine if someone did that. Hey, I know you. I know it's your birthday, and I hope you have a bad birthday.
That is like bad blood.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it with some. No, I won't.
No.
I do believe. I don't believe in karma, but I believe in energy. I think if you put out a bad energy, it will find its way back to you somehow.
Yeah. No. Always have good energy.
Yeah.
It's much better like that.
Yeah, and you should like put yourself in a frame of mind, and you got to figure out what gets you there. For me, it's the gym.
Yeah,
that's why I go to the gym in the morning. I don't go to the gym to have these massive biceps. I go to the gym so I can get my mind right. Right, it just sets the tone for the day. And you just got to find what's your thing. What's your thing that puts you in that frame of mind so you feel your best. And this way, when you're interacting with people, you are your best. Tyler, how are we on time? Great.
Oh shit.
So we're having such a great time. I didn't realize. Okay, so Valine, say whatever you want. Give buyers advice, sellers advice, tell people why they should use you, whatever. The floor is yours. And tell people where to reach you too.
Okay, guys. One, thank you so much for watching the podcast. Everyone, it's going to work out. Have faith in yourself and confidence. Know what you do and do it well. Instagram is @Valine the Realtor. Ben, thank you again. He is amazing. And I'm not just saying that. Remember when I first shoot my shot to you in a DM?
Okay.
And and we met. So we clicked so well. Thank you so much.
Of course.
So,
thank you for having me. It flew by.
It really did.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.